All right. Merry Christmas, everyone. And although I think that we did finish after midnight yesterday, so Merry Christmas again. Thank you all for joining me for my third of 5 Christmas live streams, editing photos from 2007 rail adventures. Yesterday, for the last 2 days, we were covering the Dallas McKinney Avenue streetcar. We are continuing in Dallas with a focus today on its heavy rail heavy rail attractions, including TRE, short lines, and the freight scene, Union Station, etc. So back when I did this trip, I split it up by subject category. That's why one day was McKinney Avenue. Today it's sort of heavy rail, and then at a point in the future there's going to be a lot of DART activity. I don't necessarily do this all that anymore, but at the time, to split up what seemed to be a very large photo set, I decided to do it by subject matter. So unfortunately we're going to get off to a little bit of a slow start, but I think I can make it slightly interesting. One of the things that I did so back in 2007, if we go to a Dallas area map here, I'm going to leave it on, this is a Google Transit view. In 2007, the DART green and orange lines had yet to be completed to the west of the city, and I'm not sure. I think that what is this? The Buckner station for the green was complete, but I'm not entirely sure. You know, I can always just look this up. Where did I have that ready to go? Here it is. The Wikipedia page has a pretty good line of years when things are open. The DART has opened it up. Okay, here we go. Yeah. All of the green line except for the downtown and Victory. So Victory existed when I was there, and that was green lines at the time were only for like sports extras. But everything else, Buckner, and the whole going out to the northwest were not built yet. So the DART was pretty much in its original configuration. You had you go out to Plano, and you go out to Garland. It wasn't even out to Rowlett yet. It only went to Garland. And I didn't do the southern part of it. I did that more recently. But the best bang for my buck appeared to be go out to Plano, go out to Garland. And I think I did those on 2 separate nights. Those are going to be largely covered in the DART section. But the interesting thing at the end of Garland was the fact that at the end of the line, there was a diamond crossing guarded by searchlight signals between the Kansas City Southern line, I'm not sure which sub that is, and the Dallas, Garland, and Northern Railway. That's a GNW owned route. So here we have. So today it's been paved over by the Rowlett extension, but in 2007, the downtown Garland station was the end of the line. And there was some tail tracks there, and that was pretty much it. So as you can see here, there's no ramp going up and over the crossing. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to deal with a little bit of this right now. I was thinking of just going ahead and dealing with it, but I think that we'll probably go through it. That's not the right one. Here's the right one. So sorry if this is a little samey at the beginning. Here we have the interlocking hut. This, I believe, is an automatically worked crossing. That's something that's quite popular outside the Northeast, where the first train to approach it will trigger the signals. This is still here as of surprisingly, most of the infrastructure associated with this crossing is still in place. I believe that is due to it that both lines are non-signaled, and therefore it's escaped the PTC, the wave of PTC re-signalings that have been going on all over the place. Now I did cover this a second time, and I'm hoping that I kept. It looks like I did change nomenclature, so I'm going to have to deal with this. Went out there with 4 independent searchlights that I could get 360-degree views of. It ended up in quite a few numbers of photos. It looks like they did replace the relay hut. So it's no longer the old relay hut, it's the current relay hut. So there you go. I knew that it was old because there was a new one when I was out there. Here we have the sort of hard to remember which all of these are. Oh, I know where this is based on just whatever. So yeah, that's... Which one is this? Oh, that's the westbound one. So I have to go here and just sort of see... Oops. So that's the problem. I've gone ahead and yeah. See, we have the A plate that indicates this is an automatic interlocking. It's not an automatic signal. It's an automatic, as in the signal is not under the control of a dispatcher. So here is that same westbound mast that you just saw there, but the DART overpass has been built over it. And if you go back in time to 2007, there's no DART overpass at all. This would have been after my day's activities. I think I was in town for some sort of really bland and dry professional conference. So that is what I had been doing. So I'm just going to cut this little one wider to show the Y track there. Again, this is in May, so the days weren't... Oh, no, it's in April. So the days were mid-length. Now here we have the diamond facing the southern direction. Going forward in time, I got to find my diamond photos here. I always take 4-quadrant diamond photos now. So yeah, this is definitely a different time of year. This is February 27th. Of course, in Texas, that's quite nice. But then just goes to show what a few months will make. This then being, like I said, late April. So all of the changes you see is there also seems to be a whole bunch more of development going on in here, or maybe I can just see it because the trees have come in. Here we have the interlocking, the control thing. Typically, when you have an automatic interlocking, there'll be special instructions that govern how it works. They'll say something on the order of oh, it will, the first train to approach it will get the signal. If you don't get the signal, get out of the train, open up this box, press the button for the line that you're on, in this case KCS or DGNO, and then wait X number of minutes. If the signal still doesn't clear, you go through a different procedure. Usually it's enter the track circuit, wait another 5 minutes, and then you may cross. And by the way, you can see the end of the dart tracks here in 2007. First off, I'm not sure if that thing is even there anymore. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's right there. Let's see if I can find it. I took a lot more photos when I returned. A lot more. But of course, I might have forgotten something like not taking a picture of the control box. Yard limit signs. Huh. I could have sworn I would have gotten a photo of that. Battery boxes, the diamond. Yeah, well, there you go. Looks like I just forgot. But that's good because I got it covered here in 2007 and it hasn't changed. So all right, just checking here. And then we have it in the opposite direction with the DGNO. So it looks like past me was making up for the mistakes of future me, which just also happens to be past me, but a little less past me. And here we have that same Kansas. This is KCS. This is for in the what I'm assuming is in the southbound direction. Also note that the KCS line uses General Railway Signal SA searchlights, whereas the DGNO uses Union Switch and Signal Model H2s. So here we have the... All right, did I mess this up somehow? Oh, I'm sorry. That was the DGNO. So yeah, it's a mix of H2s and other ones. This is the KCS. So two of them are... I know at least two of them are... Okay, sorry, this isn't. Yeah, this is westbound. So this is southbound. So maybe the KCS ones are Union switching signals, but this is a Union switching signal. And here it is in 2020. Yes. Oftentimes there'll be a separate interlocking hut for each railroad. The DGNO versus the KCS. I think this is KCS. That's just that each one handles the maintenance for their own, handles the interface for their own track circuits. All these crossings have very detailed contractual maintenance obligations. Sometimes it's 50-50, sometimes it's not. Close-up of that same USNS H2 mast for KCS movements. And again, I'm sorry, this is a little bit bland. We're going to get into more interesting stuff. These were just happened to be the first things out on the block. So there's only about 12 or so of these. Oh, sorry, this is the yep, that's the H2. Just looked like an SA for just a second. It's sort of low light. Try to get through these as quick as I can. And yeah, I definitely noticed the H2. So that's what I'm going to sort of go after. This is also still just at the time where searchlights in 2007 were still pretty common. Not quite as common as they were. I was just being aware that, yeah, these are going faster than you think that they are. So I better go get some photos of searchlights before they all go away. Who knew that, this one that I actually sort of thought I'd get stuff of would still be there 13 years later. And the opposite direction. So in this case, I did not walk to all four corners of the interlocking here. So here we have a little issue of how do I brighten this up without killing the whole thing. So I'm going to go to my few uses of the old magic wand, and I'm just going to go freaking nuts on that thing to brighten it. I don't usually like to do manipulation like that, but sometimes you got to. That's not bad. Not nearly as good as it looked like in the, 2020. If you were wondering, here's what it actually looks like today. Note the giant dart overpass shadowing both the road and the diamond crossing, although the diamond is not underneath the overpass. I just might want to just pull that out one second. I'm going to pull that out again. You can just, again, see the difference between 2007 and then slightly 2020. Here you go. crazy what what time can do. And then here's the opposite direction. Yeah, they definitely mixed and matched between GRS and US&S. I thought they would have paired them by railroad, but apparently not. This is the northbound signal paired with that Y track. That's the connector. As with so many times in the West, when you have a diamond, you just sort of put off one little part of the Y for connections. It's not always the most useful ones, but they put it there as an interchange. Let me just get this last one, if I can find it. I hit them all. I just don't know where it would be, what order I hit them in. Oh, here it is. Yep. This one looks like it's been put on a new base. Let's compare. No, it's the same base. Okie doke. So it's like I said, I was very tempted to just sort of do this one offline because it's sort of boring. But at the same point, like I said, since Dart came in and improved the area so much, it's definitely worth talking a little bit about. And you can see here we are getting into TRE RDCs, and that sort of stuff's going to be for the majority of this session. But sorry to bring it out with something a little less interesting. It just happened to be what I did first. So again, here we are looking eastbound on the diamond. Gives you a really good view of what it is then versus today. Here it is. Same view. Also note that the diamond has been replaced with a flange bearing diamond. So this is a traditional diamond. Note that there's flange ways in both directions. This causes on the primary direction, you can see all of the pounding there. That causes a major maintenance issue. On the macro level, you have to replace the diamond on a regular basis. On the micro level, you have to often go in with an arc welder and build up or buff out parts of it. However, as you can see today, this is the innovation is called a flange bearing diamond, where on the inferior route, the crossing traffic will ride up on each of their own flanges, so that the weight is no longer on the rim of the wheel, it's on the flange. It will then slowly cross the head of the unbroken mainline rail. This is a normal CWR that's laid all the way across the diamond, and then it has these extra bits and pieces put around it. So there's no break and gauge for the superior track, and the inferior track will simply negotiate the diamond at a slow speed, typically 5 miles an hour. This is good for small industrial railroads and only will pull a few cars across this, whereas the superior track might be seeing hundreds of cars a week. One of the more interesting spots to see this is where the SEPTA light trolley will cross CSX Philadelphia sub in Darby, Pennsylvania. Due to the frequency of those trolleys, the flanges have started to wear a gouge in the top of the railhead, but it doesn't seem to really be hurting anything. This is that same northbound signal. Again, when I was there in 2020, it looked like they had refabricated the box, the terminal junction box under it. It does. I mean, I bet that it happened at some point. It just did not happen between 2007 and 2020. I also believe that there's been a coat of paint since I was there. Everything at this point seemed to be painted a dull gray. However, in 2020, all the masts and signal equipment had been upgraded with a coat of silver paint, including the old relay hut that was no longer in service. You can see there. So, in hindsight, it looks like there are 3 GRS SA signals and 1 USNS H2. So I'm just looking at how to capture all the DART stuff since none of it's there anymore. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, definitely running out of light, as you can see. Shocked that these aren't all blurry. This is the eastbound mast. Top of the eastbound mast. So yeah, again for the DGNO, they have the little A markers for an automatic interlocking, whereas the KCS did not. So interesting, another interesting bit, all of the masts were approach lit except for this one, which was displaying a stop, of course. At least I think the other ones, the KCS ones, were definitely both approach lit. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, sorry, the DGNOs are not approach lit. This also would imply that there is no approach circuit, but there is an approach circuit on the KCS, but not on the DGNO. I mean, not an approach circuit. I mean, like a full-length one with a distance signal. Typically, to be an automatic interlocking, they have automatic train detection. Although it is entirely possible the DGNO here in the might have to come up and stop and request a route through every time. That's another way to run it. This is interesting just because it shows off the old DART end of track. It does not appear to be any construction going on for the expansion to Rowlett. There's no trees are there, no construction, no caution tape. That happened all after this. We're also in deference to the Christmas holiday. We will be doing a short turn tonight. So I'm going to be doing 3 rounds. So this is the round number 2 of 3. That'll get everybody time to wind down from the Christmas holiday and all the festivities therein. And we have another view of this guy just without the dart tracks. This is a little bit more of a zoom to get it fully lit, as in to capture it being lit. Searchlight signals, for those of you who have not been on the channel before, are designed to throw a small amount of light a long distance, so they have a very narrow viewing angle. This was so that they could be powered by batteries for sustainable periods of time. So they will often operate with something on the order of like a 5-watt bulb, something on the order of 5, maybe 15 watts. I've heard even less, like 2, 6, 8, very small numbers of watts, but they use a powerful lens to throw that beam up to 2 miles down the track. And that's definitely doing a pretty good job of capturing it. And doing a good job of moving that light here. Here in 2020, you can see the A marker has been painted over a little bit. Here's the same thing in the day, just not quite as good. So it is nice that I got that evening shot of it. So here we have a DGNO locomotive. Now I don't know which one it is because it doesn't have a number on the front. I can try to find a DGNO roster. Oh, Diesel Shop's got one. So I've seen all these ones more recently. Yeah, it could be a variety of things. It's crazy there's not a single number on this. Now what I could try to do here, let's see if we can use Street View to our advantage. I doubt I'll be able to. But if we go back in time, we might be able to catch it when that locomotive is there. Nope. Another thing we can do, it's called Know Your Resources, railroadpicturearchives.net, which been having a meltdown recently. So if it doesn't come up, that means the site is still borked. Not much I can really do at this point. If our picture archives is up, they're very good at showing locomotives. So if you go into a railroad and say, show me all your locomotives, they will by default present that list of thumbnails in chronological order by date, not by claimed date. So you can go and see around 2007 anything that looked like it was in that roster, in that livery. So it looks like the DGNO locomotives are of the Jeep varieties all start with in the 3000 series. So what I can do here is, as my third best alternative, is to simply just claim an unknown, but puts it in the right place. Shame that archives.net, it's not gone like it went out of business. They're having some major system issues, so hopefully it'll get fixed at some point. So Denver, Garland, Northern, 3XXX at Garland. All right, great. So this brings us to the RDC era of TRE. This was something that was there. It was interesting because they were, what is it? Those RDCs kind of went out with a whimper. What's going on here? Hold on. What I want is the original set of photos. Here he is. Why do I have the spinning orb, but not the other stuff? I don't know. Anyway. The TRE RDCs were I think Canadian ones that were refurbished by Alstom in Canada. They are considered the gold standard of RDC refurbishment, with brand new engines, brand new interiors, brand new everything. I don't know what happened to them. They had a whole bunch, like 12. They slowly, and they would tend to run to the Centerport station, and on that run, so about half the daily TRE runs would be RDCs, and the other half would go to Fort Worth, would be locomotive hauled. And at some point after this, they kind of went poof. I remember it happening. I just don't remember, like, there wasn't an announcement, like they didn't, like, it wasn't like they bought a bunch of new equipment and then, it's on the countdown to the last RDC runs. They kind of went into storage one day, or slowly, and then they were gone. And it was kind of just, it was a thing that you couldn't, like, it's time for the final RDC fan trip. That's why I said they went out with a whimper. They were stored there for like a decade, and then they got sold off, and I have no idea where they are right now. I'm sure people can go look it up. You run into them occasionally. I think TriMet, that line in Portland has them. That West Side Express, I think they have one, but I don't think they run it. For something that was rebuilt at a very high standard, it's hard to determine why they went out. Like, why they just seem to vanish like that. Ironically, running... I guess they were replaced by bi-level trains. I was saying, why would a 3-car RDC be replaced by... Everything TRE runs today is pretty much all 2 cars. But they are bi-level, so they're going to have more capacity. They have additional seating capacity fever. There we go. I wish I remember. I mean, I did ride them, and that's going to be covered toward the end of the on the third day. But again, it was before I did not get any video, unfortunately, and I really should have. There's some Dart. You're going to see a bunch of Dart in any of the Union Station photos. In previous years, when I've been in Dallas a lot more, I even took the Eagle out there. So I have a lot more Union Station. I mean, almost to the point where I was getting too much Union Station photos. I'm still really puzzled how Union Station does its butt end, its west end. There's very indeterminate interlocking limits here for what is called JFK Junction. And there's also like these tracks or these station tracks are non-signaled, and at some point they go back. This automatic signal right there is the start of ABS territory, but it's sort of weird of like, are you in interlocking limits? Are you not? There's a mystery automatic signal. Very weird. Yeah, they look fantastic. They look absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it's a shame that we can't build stuff. Mainly not allowed to because the stupid crash requirements. I mean, just declare. All you have to do is consider the operator's cab part of the crumple zone. It solves most of the problems. As I like to say, it's the passengers are what matter, and anything else you're aligning incentives. You don't need PTC if the engineer is the first one to go. They're not gonna do a bad job. Okie dokie. And we're gonna be on our last set here today. Hold on, let me just check something real quick. All right, I know what I want. I want that plus 1. Oh, it looks like I cut a photo. All right, I gotta deal with this. All right, I dealt with that. All right, 1 second. Blah 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 blah. Sorry. Yeah. Usually, some railroads regarding signals, railroads tend to be USNS or GRS or have a preference between them. I would tend to expect. I wouldn't expect 3 and 1. I would expect all the same or 2 and 2, but not 3 and 1. Yep, those flange diamonds are all over the place now. Like it's almost the default unless you have 2 main lines crossing. Yes, they use a Fresnel lens. Yes. All right. Continuing on. Yes, thank you for bearing with me with that Garland stuff. It just happened to be at the start. But listen, there's a lot. I wouldn't have done it if there wasn't good content to be had. Oh, okay. So this is the one that I wanted and I cut. or as in the one I mistook the other one for. There we go. Oh boy. So I've been all over the place with CP Dallas, CP JFK Junction, just because I've been all over there. So it's gonna be a little difficult for me again to deconflict this. Because I have a lot of different names and they're all over the place. But whatever. So I'm just carefully cropping this. There it goes. No, I want it there. I want that. I want it right there. Yeah, this is eastbound. I was out and I got some video. If you check my YouTube channel, the one that you're on, I do have some interesting things at CP Dallas. Right at this very location, I have video of a maintenance crew doing thermite welding. I'm sure you've seen thermite welding. It's a show, but I did capture some of that there. That's always fun. Here we have the westbound cantilever signal at CP Dallas. This is the near track, is the Texas Eagle track. That's one used by Amtrak. TRE uses the other 2 tracks, and then DART uses the 2. So there's 5 tracks. First 2 are DART. Then you have 2 TRE tracks, and then you have the Amtrak track. The DART tracks, of course, are for DART only. TRE can use Amtrak's track 5. They just don't tend to. It's not set up with a mini high, for example. This track right here, that one there, that is used for maintenance of way, but it can, if you pay, I'm sure if you pay somebody a lot of money, that can be used as it can probably be used as a private car siding. I don't think there's power on it, but there is things. It's by the road. There's a hole in the fence. You could stick a private car out there and have it be there for the. Oh wow! Oh wow! I was almost missing the forest for the trees. Holy crap! The Reunion Center was still there. Oh wow! Yeah, the Reunion Center was an arena that was demolished in 2009, home of the Stars and the Mavericks. It's fascinating because its parking structure is still there. I think it's close enough to the convention center. There's a convention center. There's the parking structure. There's tons of surface level parking out there too. Now, some of that parking can be used for the Reunion Center, which is now the Hyatt Regency Dallas. But when I was out there recently, they had they had some sort of like motorsports thing going on in here. They got weird stuff with like trucks and weigh-ins. It's really weird. But this parking structure is all closed off most of the time, and it's just really weird. There's a ton of I'm sure it's on the Urbex radar at this point. But I wasn't I made a mental note like, oh, that's the site of the Reunion Center. It's a field now. Like, it's just there's demolition and there's like that be gone. So here we have the it's neat because it's on the bridges. There's 2 1930s viaducts. One of which has the Dallas streetcar. Notice there's no wires. It runs on battery for this segment. There's Tower 106 or 107. I think it's 106. Owned by Dart. Preserved by Dart. Good for them. Oops. See if you try to go in there. I think that they have someone driving on that. Yeah. So it looks like you can drive on this cross ramp, but the whole center is just this has got homeless camp and skate park written all over it. Anyway, let's just do a quick thing here. Let's see how early I can go on that demolition. 2007. Yep. Wow, look at that. That's a very 1980s arena. 2008, it's still there. 2012, it's a field. Wow, look at that. Very cool. I mean, it's arguably transit accessible. Oh, there's that little thing I told you about for private car storage. There's a little hut. I mainly see maintenance away equipment on it, but I think you could probably get DGNO to. You could pay them like some $1,000s to stash a private car there. Wow, look at that. Pretty cool. Kind of a shame that it got torn down, though. We're always building new arenas. Did they just make them out of paper mache? Who knows? So sorry for that tangent, but that's definitely a really cool find in my photo archaeology here. Whoops. I just want to check what I used for the original file names for that. No, oh, that's bad. Bad. Yep. Yeah, the McKinney Avenue trolley, I was able to pretty much use all the existing file names. For this, I am absolutely not using these file names. So this is the eastbound cantilever for CP Dallas. An interesting thing to note here, these use those 1980s General Railway signaling monoblock housings. Kind of like similar to a USNS N-type, or I think sometimes they're called an R or a P. However, where you need 4 lamps, they don't make a 4-lamp one, 4 lamps for getting lunar white into the yard. They'll have to put in, those are L&W brand modulars. I know that sounds like, how does this insane person know? Because like I said, I've been hanging around Union Station a lot, and I was like, oh, those are not Safe Train ones. So that's how I really know all these. I'm not trying to be like I do have a life, I swear. This should be JFK Junction. This is the puzzling one. I'm pretty sure it applies to... So, in this direction, it's not puzzling. JFK Junction, it's in service on the Amtrak Texas Eagle track and the Union Pacific track. At this point, Amtrak would transfer to Union Pacific to go to Fort Worth, where they would get hit by constant freight train delays. Today, it continues straight on to TRE. The weird part is this mast signal here has a signal in the reverse direction, but it also has a number plate in the reverse direction, indicating that that's an automatic. This could be just a very, very weird situation where, because it's going through a trailing point switch, into restricted track, that's the one case where you have an absolute signal in one direction and an automatic in the other. I have no idea. It's very strange. Now, where can I find a picture of JFK Junction? Because I used to label it in a specific way to handle that restricting signal. I think that's track. I don't know what track to label that as. I can get out of there. And check other times I've been at that location. Oh, that's the front of that signal I showed you before with the 4-banger. And one of those is restricting. I mean, for restricting. Oh, yeah, here's one of the... Sorry. Here we go. So track 2, diverging clear. And the station track is restricting. Okay, so I just call it track 2 and the station track. Fair enough. That works. It is nice they named it JFK Junction. I wasn't lying. There's JFK Junction right there. That's good enough. By the way, you can get up in that little area right there. It's a pretty good watching thing. Comes right up from the road. It's not super obvious. I haven't had any ever issues in Dallas, but it does seem like an area where the police might do their jobs because it is in Texas. But then again, you know, it just might be if you don't look, you know, you don't look like you're sleeping there, they might not give a crap. I can never get a read for some of these places. I might nuke that one. Yeah, I am going to do that. So I have so many photos of this, and I already have covered it, that this one's done. Uh-oh, we've got a Dart picture. This should probably go in the Dart set. What is this? Number 165. I'm going to throw this in Dart. I'm pretty sure that would have come up. Where is it? Oh, come on. Oh, that's the problem. Dart. So that's why I don't generally try to do them by subject matter. It's really because I stored the masters to combined. So I love this reunion tower. You can't quite see it this time of day, but the reflection at a certain point, it's almost like a cloaking device where it will completely match the sky behind it. It's like an active cloak. Even now, it looks like it's been added by AI or a green screen. So I usually call it the Reunion, not the Reunion Center, but it's the Hyatt Regency Dallas, wonderful hotel, and then that's the Reunion Tower behind it. It's kind of like Knoxville's wig sphere, only instead of 10,000 boxes of unsold wigs, I think it has a restaurant. I'm not sure if the restaurant revolves, or it's at least an observation deck. You have to pay to go up there. I've never been up there because it's not that tall. So, I mean, if you want me to pay for an observation view, like make it over 1,000 feet, please, minimum. Nope, not gonna do that. Okay, that's good. Here we have a nice view of Dallas Union Station. It's still despite the fact there's only 2 trains a day, still an active Amtrak station. I don't know if it does buses. I think it might. Although if you watch Miles and Transit's latest thing, it did not do Megabus, but it might have done Greyhound. I'm pretty sure it's a municipal asset. It's connected via a tunnel to the Hyatt Regency Dallas, which is super convenient, but they often lock the tunnel going inbound toward the hotel. If you're leaving, make sure you prop it, especially prop the ones going up to the track access. And open them for people getting it. Just don't let homeless in there. Okay, now this is just going all over the place because I know that Dallas thing should definitely be in this set of photos, but I don't know where that station went. Well, if it pops up in the Dart trip, I'll cut it, but I don't know why that photo got cut. That's dumb. Another good reason of why I don't want to deal with this. So, with this tracks 1, 2, and 3. And back to see here when we have one coming in, the restricting will go away and I'll just do a plain stop. Again, don't know if that's automatic. I got to go down there and just observe that and how that works. Well, generally when there's something in the interlocking on the switch, you'll get a stop no matter what. Despite how much you think call on, it's like one of those things like call on like never seems to work. What on earth? Oh, okay. I think I got it. Oh, no, I didn't. What the heck happened? All right. So this is TRE number 102. They seem to be running a lot shorter trains. I don't just mean after COVID. Every time I've seen a TRE after this, the trains have all been 2 cars. They might have increased frequency because they have a lot of diesels, but not maybe they didn't increase the number of coaches. Got me. Okay. This name's awful. Westbound. There we go. Two more. I see I'm still have some of my bad habits of bare naming rolling stock without a location. There we go. Note the shadow from the cantilever arm there in the foreground. I've got to say that the liveries for the TRE cars do a fantastic job with the Texas flag, kind of right up there with Rail Runner in New Mexico. I would love to see Maryland do something like this, but they don't. Mark it's almost when it goes out of its way. They did it. The old GP40 WHs, they had a Maryland flag. And some of the light rail vehicles have a Maryland flag livery, but not the Mark stock or engines. And they keep doubling down on it, too. They bought all those Siemens SC44s, and they gave them the plain Jane treatment. So, there you go. All right, last photo of the day. This is these are X-Go. It's an F59PH. No I for isolated cab. I think they're still running a bunch of these, but I could be wrong. They mainly seem to be doing the F59 PHIs, but I think I've seen these. Don't know how many engines they need to maintain the load line, but I think they have more than enough than they need. I forgot where they get their F59 PHIs. I can always just go look. Hold on. So they have 7 F59 PHs, and they were overhauled in 2010. I'm not sure if they got them from Go. They might have been delivered direct, but I think they came from Go. 2 F40 PHs, they might still be running. 2 F59 PHIs, okay. And then 25 coaches. And they've only gotten rid of the RDCs. Former Go, overhauled by NS. Okay. Oh, they were renumbered. Interesting. And they were those were the original Go numbers, and then they were renumbered to 120 to 126. The F59 PHIs were directly purchased from EMD. The F40 PHs were 2X Amtraks from Progress in 2022. Wow, what the F? Where would those even have come from? So 10 of those RDCs are in Vermont, 2 of them are in Oregon for TriMet. All right, there we go. This is a nice photo. Light's a little odd, but I like the effect. All right, that's it. Well, okay, that's all for today. Everybody, you guys have a great and Merry Christmas. I'll be right there to check anybody's questions. And we're going to be doing 2 more full sets tomorrow and Wednesday. Just an announcement, anybody in the Philadelphia area, I'm running my SEPTA trip again on Wednesday. So if you're interested or in the area, send me a direct message, or just, I'm going to check the Twitter. I don't know what else. I should put something in the community notes. It's going to start Wednesday morning at the east end of the Market East Station. Going to Wawa, Route 13 to Yeadon, R5 to Lansdale are the major points of attraction. Okie dokie, that's it. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. I will be back for the next 2 days, and hope you have a wonderful and a successful New Year and rest of the week. But all right, later, and have a great day.